I know I've been away for a little bit, but I wanted to come back and show you the finals of the boxes that we made. And this is the Prima pumpkin and spice. And then I use for my other two boxes paper that I got from Country Craft Creations Hello Autumn. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the boxes. First of all, these boxes are 9 by 4. All of these are. And the tops of the boxes are, I measured them out 1/8 of an inch, a little bit larger. This one, which is the chipboard one, I really should have made that probably 1/4 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch bigger. Really had a lot of struggles with that. And I'll show you a little bit about that in just a minute. But here is this was the one that I made out of the lightweight chipboard and covered that in with the Hello Autumn paper, and I'm going to use this for cards, or I don't know, maybe something for another kind of gift or something for a friend. Or then I have this one that is the all cardstock. I used the artisan cardstock, and I put covered that all in Hello Autumn paper and even did the bottom. So I have to say the one that I probably liked the best doing or making is probably this cardstock one. I thought it went together the easiest. I thought it was the quickest, and you know, this is something that could be done, like I said, pretty quickly. The only thing about it is that if I wanted it or needed it sturdier, I probably would double mat so that it would give me a little bit more weight on the outside. But if I did do that double matting, I probably would increase from 1/8 to 3, I'm sorry, I did 1/8. So I would probably go to 1/4 then, just because I don't want, this is really a nice fit, but otherwise I think I would have struggles with that. So this is my paper, or the cardstock one, and then this is the chipboard one. Well, the lid was too tight on this. I tried to finagle all kinds of things to try to get it to work, and some things just didn't turn out very well, but I finally got it to fit. I probably am going to keep this and use it for myself, not giving it away because it didn't turn out exactly how I would have liked it, but I ended up even adding corners on this because I felt like my corners looked so bad. The box itself doesn't look bad, but it just doesn't, let's just say it doesn't look great. And one of the things that I was thinking of is that I might take these, the cards that I made, and I'm just going to show you those cards in a minute. I think I'm going to take these, and I think I might even leave this on my desk and keep it for scraps, either from cutting or maybe if I need it for a collection, my small bits and pieces. I don't know. I kind of like this for that. And so we'll see what I'm going to do. And I did talk about that I was going to make some cards with you. I decided, because sometimes for me, making a card, I like making cards, but for me, sometimes making cards take a really long time because I want it this way or I want it that way. I'd much rather do a mini album, to be very honest, because I feel like the mini album is a bigger project that you get something out of. And I like making boxes and things that I like things that aren't too fussy. That's probably what I like. I like the look of things with flips and flaps and things colored, but I don't want to spend 2 hours on a card. I just don't feel I get much bang for the buck, but I like making cards. It's not something I'm going to stop doing. So this time I did some slimline cards, and what I did is I took the paper from the Prima Pumpkin and Spice collection, And really what this is this is the pink cardstock that I got in my kit. This is a Prima paper, and this was just some doodads that I had in my stash. And this is one of the cards that are in the journaling cards. Well, it's not in the paper, it's not an ephemera card, it's in the little book of ephemera cards. And this is some twine that I just tripled, and that I got at Country Craft Creations as well. And I put it on a gray cardstock because I wanted to have a double layer. And then I just decorated the inside of the card, all ready for sentiments or whatever I wanted to do with it. So, and then I made this card because I actually needed a birthday card. Oh, not a birthday card, that's one's coming up, sorry. Yeah. So this one, what I did is I fussy cut a couple pieces out of here, and then a couple of the other pieces I just punched out with my punches, and I popped them all up, and then I popped up the sentiment, and the sentiment was in my stash for making these cards. And I kind of did the same thing with the paper. And these cards, I guess I should say, these cards are 3.5 by 8.5. And so when you're scoring for a slimline card, you would cut this at 7, and this would be 8.5, and then you would just score at 3.5. So that's another one of the cards I made. I think I showed you this card the last time, but just chat about that real quick. Here are my gems from my stash. Again, this is one of the ephemera cards from the small little ephemera pack. I took these from the ephemera, and this actually is white paper, and I just distressed it with my Distress Oxides, what is it, Vintage Photo. And I put a strip of the paper down on this. This is from the Prima Pumpkin and Spice. And then I just put a leaf and an acorn in here. And this was out of my stash. But this is very similar to the additional leaves that came with Pumpkin and Spice. But I actually bought these last year, and I just hadn't used them. So that's a third card. And then the last card that I did, which I probably am going to make another one or two, but I just wanted to get this out to you. This one is a birthday card I made for a friend, and basically these were all fussy cut out of the paper. This was an ephemera piece. I took a die cut that I had to put Happy Birthday to You on there, and I popped most of these up. I didn't pop these up back here and this here. These are off down flat. And then this is some of the paper from the Pumpkin and Spice. You know, as I was looking at this, I was looking at so much of my cards that I made were using this paper. And then I actually used on the front of the card some washi tape. And this tape, I think I got this from Country Craft Creations with one of the Cartabella kits from earlier on. I just thought it looked really good on the bottom of that card. So, and then the inside of the card is like this, and I had these sassy sayings. It says, "Dance like no one's watching, who can have you committed?" And then it says, "Happy birthday to you," so T-U for the tutus. And then at the bottom down here, I have, "Note to self, less tequila." My friend will enjoy that. And this in here, I had gotten these Post-it notes that you can put inside a card, and something you can make yourself too, but I usually like to write on these, and so then the receiver can take these and reuse them. So the other thing that we were going to talk about today was making slimline card envelopes. So I made envelopes for these cards, and I have one that I was going to make out of some of the pink cardstock that I got in my kit, and I wanted to show you how I put that together and how I made that. And let me just put this, this away. All right, it is so simple. And if you have any kinds of extra cardstock, this is the simplest thing. Don't have to go and spend a lot of money on envelopes. If you want to do a different kind of envelope or do an envelope for your slimline cards. So what we're going to be doing is, this is 8.5 by 11. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to score with the 8.5 piece at the top. We're going to score this at 2.5. Oh wait, oh good. No, I'm scoring it on the wrong side. Sorry, I wanted this side out because it's textured. So, right? Yes. Okay, so we're going to score, I apologize, we're going to score at 2.5, and then we are going to score, oh shoot. Oh well. And then we're going to score at 6.5 on this side. Okay, and then we're going to take and turn this to the 11-inch side, and we are going to score here at 1.5 and then at 10.5. All right, so once again, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet. The first score with the 8.5 on top is 2.5, and then scoring at 6.5. Then you're going to turn this to the 11-inch side, and you're going to score at 1.5 and at 10.5. All right. So then, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to score our lines, or our score marks, not score, but burnish. And this cardstock, I'm not 100% sure if it'll hold up as good as the Artisan, so I'm going to be a little gentle with my scoring at first until I see how well I do. All right. This is the 1/2-inch side. Wow. Doesn't want to fold. Gonna fold that and burnish that. And then I will the reason why I like to do the burnishing first before I do anything else is that it just gives me a little bit better idea of where my score marks are. So the next thing that we're going to do then is we are going to take this and we are going to cut away these 2 small pieces and these 2 small pieces. We are going to cut this off to make the flap for the top and the flap for the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. You can also see there's a slight score line in here. That's where I made a mistake. But I'm going to see if I can maybe put some washi tape or something over it when I'm all done. It's fine. I can fix that, no problem. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut. I am actually going to cut this at a slight angle on the side right away. And the reason why is because we want this so that it fits in that flap. So it doesn't have to be a significant angle, but just enough that it makes it easy for it to get folded under. And then, like I said, on this side we're going to do that as well. You might be asking why I'm not using a longer scissors, but I only have a Tim Holtz shear, shears. And I find that when I go to the very tip of that shear, is that it doesn't give me a very fine cut. Okay. The other thing that I should have done right away is we're going to just miter this right away. And we are going to miter this. And I would round them, but they won't fit in my, see, these are my little bits that I could be throwing in my little garbage can. But it won't fit in my rounding. So what we're going to do with this is I want to round these edges. All right, so that's pretty much the whole shape of the envelope. But what we're going to do next is I'm going to put some score tape on here. And I know, I look like I'm flipping it here. So you're going to want to put this on the longer or wider side of the envelope. And what I do is I just put it to the top and put it there, and then I'm also going to put some score tape on this side. And then I'm also going to just prepare my flap so that I have it all done for when I'm going to use this. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is make sure you press down your tape to make sure there's no air bubbles in that. And the first thing that we're going to do is we actually are going to just fold this over onto itself. Got the body of the envelope, and then we'll take this flap down on the bottom. Now if you want to cut this and round that, you can surely do that. I just thought that that this was fine. You can barely even see it on itself what the shape is, and then that's the envelope. So like I said, I'm going to try to put some washi tape down there, you know, just put it down. But what works then is we can take our slimline cards, and you've got it. Now this is a 4x9 envelope. So if you wanted to make it just a little bit thinner, you could cut it down to like 3 7/8. And your scoring would be approximately the same. You'd have to probably rework it just a little bit, but it should be pretty good. But that's how we've got our slimline cards, our envelopes. So the other thing that you can do as well, for the flap, if you don't like this rounded flap, you can certainly angle it. You can, you know, you can do it straight across. You can do whatever you really want to do. The other thing is, if you don't have a corner punch, one of the things that you can do that makes things so much easier is that if you want to get a really rounded corner, is to take a bottle, or you can take, you know, a round loop of tape and just mark that off. And it will help you get a consistent round corner for all of your envelopes. So Well, that is what I have for you today. Now, I am hoping by this weekend, I'm not making a promise, but I'm hoping by this weekend to have another project done with the Prima pumpkin and spice. And what I'm going to be doing is making a folio. And I wanted to make a folio that looked great for fall pictures. For those of you that went to pumpkin farms and apple orchards. So I'm looking forward to that, and I can't wait to share that with you. And I actually have one more project that I'm going to do after that. It's another box, so I will show you that. But otherwise, till then, I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you have a great day, and you guys are really enjoying the fall, and I will see you soon.